Bunnycast, episode 43, Gaming Nerds, recorded on November 18th, 2010.
I see you.
Well, I hope so. We spent enough time setting it up. Welcome to another episode of the flagship of the Bunnycast networks. We are recording video as well as audio today. This is thanks completely because of the efforts put into making it so that we can show Bunnycast live. Speaking of, I am the producer and hostess of Bunnycast and Bunnycast Live, Dame Helennet the LeatherClad. Joining me today are Sir Xepharon the Prepared,
who is very sick,
and ChroniclerC.
Well, then get better already. Come on, I told you to get better.
Use the hat, Luke. CC. Use the hat.
The hat?
Use the Force, Luke. Use the Force. Anyways. So, that's pretty good.
My daughter just handed me some of her chips.
Oh,
she's cute. We don't have a guest host today, not for lack of trying. I think it's time to bring the bunnies to bear on trying to get Amber. What's her last name, Zeph?
Williams. Amber Williams.
This would have been a great opportunity to have her on as well, because she is celebrating, what was it, the 10th anniversary of DMFA?
Something like that. Let me actually go to the page. Okay. Comic update. Huzzah.
No! Stay on target!
Stay on target.
Damn it, can't read right now. God. Wait, how many comics did update? 1, 2, just one. Okay. Anyway. Excuse me, hang on. Every now and then I go a little quiet because I have to mute the microphone so that you all don't hear me cough, hack, and wheeze.
That works out.
But, Amber Williams, who had started drawing DMFA years and years ago, where there's really no date on the comics themselves at that time, I'm really not feeling like, figuring out just the exact start date. Actually it says near the bottom. For over 10 years now, 11 it seems. It's because DMFA started in 1999. I'm still trying to get Amber on the Bunnycast, and well, wish me luck.
Yes. Now, in an effort to make it so that we're not being a bunch of tools, if
it is 10 years, my bad.
For those of you who would like to have Amber on the show, Amber does have a PayPal donation tip jar thing.
Bribe her.
Bribe her, yes.
She also has an email, which is amber@mabsland.com. That's amber@mabsland.com.
So I would recommend, if you can, give her a $1 or $2 or $3 or $10 or $1,000 or however much it is you feel is appropriate to give her.
Well, she's talking about needing a new vacuum cleaner, so if you can buy her a new vacuum cleaner, I'm sure she'll do stuff for you. Show up on a podcast, you bought my vacuum, sure.
No, let's not go there. As I was saying, drop some money in her account, and as you do so, leave a note, and there's like a comment field where you can say stuff about the transaction you're about to do, please show up on the Bunnycast. Link us, shastrix.com/bunnycast. Make sure you mention our email, bunnycast@gmail.com.
Indeed.
I've
sorry, go.
And send her an email, and make sure that if you can't send her money, send her an email. Say, hey, we got this podcast. It's a great place to really go on wild tangents. That's really all you can say about us right now. We don't exactly have an audience she doesn't already have. But if you go to missmap.com, you can get to both the PayPal link and the email link. However, also, in addition, if you are on Twitter, you can start poking at her on her Twitter page, or her Twitter handle, I should say, which is Ambarg, AMBAAARGH. That's 3 A's in there. You can definitely tell it's her too.
Embarg. Yeah, I've been playing
she's not a pirate.
An online game that DMFA was actually spawned from. I do play Furcadia. I did actually somewhat recently decide, you know what? Let's see if it actually is still there. I went and found the Lost Lakes realm and actually checked it out and spoke with some of the people that the original cast of DMFA was inspired by, including Krya Soulstealer, whose character name does exist still on the game, who I did speak with, who's really cool.
Nice.
And Krya is actually one of my favorite characters in the comic.
No, Mobile Me, not now! Damn it! I say only sync once an hour, and it chooses exactly in the middle of recordings to sync.
That go explode?
It slows down pretty bad. Fortunately, I'm jacked right into the router, so it's not too damaging. But oh god, talk about.
Great Lagger says serves you right for using a Mac. Look at the trouble
them fight words.
Nah, it's mostly in that this computer, it's got one processor for like every damn thing.
My name is Zeph, and I use a PC.
I'm sorry, I'm not pretentious enough to use a Mac.
Yeah, well, I'm Dane on the LeatherClad, so Neo, bitches!
Yes, ma'am.
Apparently, Gray uses Linux.
Hey,
Ubuntu.
Hey, I'm down with Linux. I before I was able to buy myself a Mac, I used Linux.
Linux is good. I won't lie, I'm not entirely that familiar with it because I haven't actually spent the time to play with it because I'm either playing Warcraft or editing the podcast, usually Warcraft, or reading comics or playing Furcadia.
Speaking of Furcadia, I've finally got the website actually up. So
if you wanted the website for it, I could have given that to you.
No, I know the website. It's just because of the problem with Mobile Me deciding, let's update. He's talking on the interwebs and trying to broadcast. Let's do it now. So,
Furcadia is basically it's an MMO that it's been around for a long freaking time. It originally started out as Dragon Spires was the original name, but now it's led by Dragon's Eye Productions. And is now actually it's fairly popular. You can find it at Furcadia.com, Furcadia.com, and the game itself it doesn't cost money to play, so you're good on that. Now there are some stuff that you would need to spend money for, but you can also earn money in game that's not tradable for real money, but it's basically in-game currency called Dragon Scales, where you can actually use those to buy stuff. Such as different appearances for your avatar or portrait spaces rather than just the default images. Which doesn't cost a whole lot, but really the game itself relies a lot on player imagination. Now, the reason I say that is while primarily the game is a lot of text-based, there is graphics, absolutely, but the realms at which that you can create are literally entirely up to your imagination. You can create worlds that are in outer space, the Wild West, an oceanside resort, or even just a bar scene. And you can, create scripting, which is actually fairly easy to use. Create scripting for the realm that you create, called a dream, to have things
why didn't you
interact
put this in
with
as
you
your review?
yeah.
Why didn't you put this in as your review?
It's my review now.
Okay.
Because I didn't. But okay, fine. We'll count this as my review, and I'll.
Review just
lightly
kind of
on it.
happened.
Yeah, you asked me to talk about it.
I didn't mean like give an in-depth about it. I just meant okay.
Okay,
I finally got
anyway,
it up.
With 411.
Well, anyway, the game's a lot of fun. Lots of people to play with. I'm actually one of the in-game helpers, which is a completely volunteer basis, but like one of the know-it-all guys. So if you need help and whatnot, just say the word "help" in your text box, and someone should be along with you to help you out soon. Anyway, speaking of which, I have a whisper on. Yep, on the game itself. I introduced someone in game today to Alguna Shive, and they're like, "Oh, I love this. This is awesome. It's an awesome comic." And then they're like, "Well, I think." And then
Tell
I'm
them
like,
about
"I
the
think
Bunnycast."
About to. They go, read it all of it, I believe. I says, getting more soon. I says, oh no, this has several hundred strips, and they have a slow connection. So they go, oh, yep, missed some, still have a bunch left.
Okay, so for those who are jumping in late, oh, hey, Dan posted a Twitter, a toast, the thing you do with the Twitter, it's
Stalkers.
See, I posted a Twitter.
The thing you do with the Twitter, when you say it, it sounds like it's dirty. What do you do with your Twitter?
I take my Twitter to school.
I take mine wherever I go. I'm on my Twitter all the time, and it makes me so happy.
So
Crazy people with your social networking.
The Twitter posting says, writing this script is like pulling teeth. I have often found that there are many things that are like pulling teeth. And if you've never had the mispleasure, and I do speak perfectly correctly there, if you ever had the mispleasure of having your teeth pulled or being a participant in thereof, not fun. So, we are drastically way off track.
That's never happened before.
This is kind of actually a good introduction to the podcast.
So par for the course.
Oh yes, absolutely. We have the Bunnycast consists of three hosts: myself, Sir Xepharon, and ChroniclerC. We get together and we talk. We are the official, because we made it that way on purpose. Ha! And we were here first. I don't know why I said that. But we're the official podcast for the Bunny community, and now the official video cast for the Bunny community.
Wait. We're no longer including the word unofficial in there, so has Dan actually endorsed us?
No, of course not.
Damn.
And the Bunny community centers around Alguna Shive, egscomics.com.
Read it, or the owl will eat you.
Yes, the owl is hungry. The owl will eat you. And then regurgitate you. That's not fun.
That sounds unpleasant. You sound like you've experienced this.
Let's not talk about that any longer. So,
I could just start pulling TED quotes.
No, those are memories he wants to repress.
I don't know. My favorite one is waffles versus lesbians. There just isn't any contest.
no, there isn't. And what's sad is I have to explain that every so often on the forums. I'll start out a silly game thread, and it'll start out waffles, and then somebody else is supposed to say lesbians, and then somebody else is supposed to say waffles, and it's supposed to keep going, right? And then you get silly things like waffles with chocolate, lesbians with chocolate, and it goes on and on.
Damn.
How about?
I think I'm gonna start this on Mayhem.
Oh, it's been
Yeah.
on Mayhem. Go
yeah.
find it. You'll find
Zeph is reading through the archives again today.
Archive binge.
Yes. So, getting back to the podcast. So, the comic, El Gunner Shive, is a webcomic by Dan Shive, who was inspired to name it such by a throwaway line from The Simpsons. There's only been one, count 'em, one goon
One.
in the comic's entire run. Yes,
One.
that's enough. Yeah, there's nowhere to go from there. Bunnies are fans of El Gunner Shive. Zeph, here's your 10-second introduction. Go.
Dan Shive created a comic called El Gunner Shive. Fuck.
Hey,
My tongue tripped over my eye teeth. I couldn't see what I was saying. Dan Shive created a comic called El Gunner Shive. El Gunner Shive developed a fan base. Fan base said, "Hey Dan, we need a name." Dan said, "No, you can name yourselves." But then the fan base said, "Oh no, you name us. You created us." And then he says, "Okay, fine, your bunnies," thinking that everybody hated it, but then it stuck.
You ran long. That was about 15 seconds.
Yeah, I know. Well, if I hadn't said fuck,
Not counting.
if I hadn't fucked, I mean.
Let's stop there. Okay.
That's three.
There are 3 places on the internet that bunnies can be found. You can actually go to. I had a tab for it. Forums.keenspot.com. And there's the Mayhem forum. Now I have closed the tab. Why did I do that? Why? Then there's community.
That's karma for making fun of me for running long.
Well, okay, fine. There's community.910.cmx, and then alternatively, very minor presence on Shastrix.com, where this audio podcast is hosted.
Shastrix.
Thank you. There is also the Order of the Bunny. We will be doing more with the Order later on. Right now the focus is on making sure the Bunnycast as a network really takes off. And speaking of forums, we got forum news. Echo.
Echo. The word news is supposed to echo.
Who cares?
Whoops. My bad.
We have on the newbie forums a newbie named Biscuit537.
I like biscuits.
So
I do like biscuits.
I think we already talked about this one, but almost nobody said hi. So I'm going to recommend that as many bunnies as possible go to Biscuit537's thread and, poke at them.
Well, according to the chat that I'm watching, as far as the video portion of this go, apparently, I could be misunderstanding this, but it seems, I believe Biscuit is another Brit bunny. I can't talk today.
Well, go say hi to the Brit bunny.
I shall. And
Go forth.
Go forth, go yonder, and greet those of the new and not old.
Go
forth,
greet
my
the
minions.
bees of the new. Okay, so Chrome just decided to halt. I can't read the next newbie.
I've got
I'm sad.
10 I have 10 tabs open in Firefox. Let me open up a new Firefox browser page here.
This is the first time Chrome's
Only
failed.
10?
Chrome has just failed me completely today.
Not only 10, but I really don't feel like having to use little arrows to go back and forth between the tabs and stuff to find one. I usually have between 15 and 20, but I'm really not feeling it today.
Why is it not showing anything?
So,
I'm sad. Chrome is making me sad. Okay,
well, as far as the newbie intro forum goes,
I got a
let's see,
platypus in gazebo.
we also, Platypus and Gazebo. We have Avistu.
Oh, it's a gazebo. Run!
There's a killer gazebo. It's the angry gazebo. who opens up with, "I have a confession. This thread has nothing to do with platypuses or gazebos. It's another old, boring intro thread, but hey, at least the title sounds funny when you say it out loud. Let's try it. Platypus and gazebo."
Platypus and gazebo.
Gazebo.
Anyway, I'm Avistu.
Is that a gazebo in your pocket? Are you happy to see me?
Anyway, I'm Avistu, Avi for short, 25, female, married with a boyfriend. I live in Canada and originally French, and I've been reading EGS for a few years. I actually wrote emails in reaction to comics a few times, then I read about the forums in a recent commentary, and then I thought, might as well go take a look. Interesting tidbit. I first registered over a week ago, but didn't get validated by an admin by that time, and after about a week of browsing, since I wasn't allowed to post, when I tried to log on one day, it insisted that I didn't exist, so I re-registered, and this time it got validated in a timely manner. That was weird. Maybe I look too much like a spam bot? I guess the lesson is persistence is key.
Yes.
Nice. Nice meeting everyone. Anyways, I'll make myself at home. May I have a cookie? Cookies are tasty.
Cookies are tasty. I like cookies. Yes, that's my daughter. I have to kill pages.
Cookie.
I am sad. I have sad pages. Okay, so the next one is hello, my name is Roborat, and I'm addicted to webcomics.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Ooh, I like his avatar, Richard from Looking for Group.
Yes, I've heard of this man. Okay, so again, boring and
I must do it now.
I like Cyber Maroon's direct reply. It says, "Welcome to the asylum. Strikeout forum. Please leave sanity and pants at the door. Your souls are collected after tea." Then we have "Why Hello Thar" by Go Chrome Go.
I'm still kind of laughing. From Looking for Group, Richard is the elf guy asks him who he is, and he says, "I am Richard, Chief Warlock of the Brothers of Darkness, Lord of the 13 Hells, Master of the Bones, Emperor of the Black, Lord of the Undead, and Mayor of a little village up the coast. Very scenic during springtime. You should visit." He goes, "Your name is Richard? You were supposed to pay more attention to everything after that part." "Sure thing, Dick." That's pretty funny. To which he's met with a fireball and turned to a pile of ashes.
Yes.
And then the last panel is the best, where the pile of ashes, formerly the elf, says, "I think I require the services of a healer," to which Richard replies, "Walk it off, you pussy."
Walk it up.
You have not read Looking for Group?
Unfortunately not. It's just low priority for me. So, hey, you can review it in another recording.
Oh, I already have. I'm still looking at Cyber Maroon's signature with the whole little Caramel Dunson associated animation.
Yes.
Forth,
so the next newbie is Cake Man, I believe, or Cack Man. Although I prefer Cake Man. I like cake. Why Hello Thar is the forum title, or thread title, rather.
Why hello there!
Thank you. And also came over from TV Tropes. Yes. Another troper. We've got troper bunnies. We need to make a badge.
This is really strange. I mean, I'm sick, my voice is low, but at the same time, while my voice is dreadfully dropped in pitch, I can also hit unbelievably high notes that I haven't been able to hit before.
Oh, yes. That happens. It's weird. Freya.
I just can't hit everything in
that.
In.
Okay, Daddy does not just sweep the hand across. You actually press keys with a purpose. Okay, so hi. Yes, you can read that. Tess, a remarkably short forum name. Hello, forums. Hi, everyone. My name is Tess. I'm aware I share the name with AF04 Ted, and I started reading EGS sometime in 2005. Up to linked comic. Before the next update, never thought to make an account on the forums or post on them. As much as I enjoy the comic and all its goonishness, figured I'd properly introduce myself. Nice to meet you all. So go tackle Glomp and give newbies stuff and things. stuff. With
Did
the
we
things and the
introduce
stuff.
Fliara 48? Actually, it sounds familiar. I think we did.
What?
Fliara 48. The Iron Flower emerges. Did we?
Yeah, we got to her
her?
last
Tim? Her? Did we?
Well, that just kind of shows you how things are going with this podcast and the forums. Frankly,
Well,
I remember. I remember a time way back in the day when
Here's Dame Helen being old again.
when we were getting like 10 newbies a day or something like that. It was ridiculous. Now
Yeah, the cool old days.
Yes. Sorry, just making sure my daughter has something to watch. I just realized that's why she was pestering me. Her DVD had ended. Anyways, hopefully we can find a way to get people back on the forums and get more new people to join in. So here's what I propose. I say we get together in pairs, go out with a copy of Elgunish Shive, and let's see, where is it? I have it up here.
This
And
will
just-
end poorly.
We can get a little name tags and say, have you read Elgunish Shive? Are you aware of the dangers of the owl? Okay, shutting up.
Yeah, so if I ask if we've done something, even if we did it 3-4 times, forgive me. I suffer from CRS. Can't remember shit.
I was going to say crazy Rembrandt syndrome.
Why not?
So, in other news than the general discussion forums, we have an Abe's an idiot conversation thread. Yes, he is. We could probably move on. However, there does seem to be a decent conversation starting. Well, that's good.
Wait, where's this at again? I missed part of that.
Okay. 910 CMX Community, Elgunish Shive Forums, EGS General Discussion Forums, Abe's an
General
idiot
discussion.
thread. Yes. And my Chrome is just sad all over the place. It's not happy. It's a sad Chrome. And fan art. We have Sith12345. Now I'm not sure. Did we do this one? Because it's
You're asking me.
I'm
Yeah,
just
we
saying.
did. Yes, we
Okay.
did. I remember this. 'Cause I
Go-
looked through them and go, oh, they're pretty good.
Yeah, go to the thread, review and comment and give positive feedback and constructive feedback.
Did I not?
But a thread
Oh, I
that I know is new is disturbing site ads. Not so much disturbing, really, based on the content of the thread, which I'm trying to load up here. But
trying to find this thread.
910 CMX Community, Elgunish Shive, off topic, disturbing site ads. Keep up, man.
You didn't say off-topic part. You just said now in.
In other news. Yes, Dan to Paul says the ad on the right, referring to the one he's looking at as he's posting to the threads, I think, made my classmates think I was viewing porn. And granted,
that image.
Yeah, granted, I can understand why they would get that impression, but really, it's the internet. You're gonna stumble onto some risque images. I mean, seriously. Okay, that's my comment. And down to the comic itself. Hey, we've got video! OMG! We can do EGS Comics. Oops, not .comics. EGScomics.com. Go, Chrome, go!
I hate being sick. I cannot keep up with you today. Normally, I'm up several steps ahead, skipping around you and losing track and finding shinies. But today, I'm just like, hang on the wagon.
Just catch the shinies that we miss. So, for
You're gonna
those
start
who
throwing them at
have,
my head, they're gonna bounce.
yes, for those who have been following the comic and wondering just WTF about Elliot turning into a girl so much. Aside from, it's funny. Aside from that, Ted, in the most recent comic, Wednesday, November 17th, seems to think he's come to a conclusion as to why Elliot keeps turning into a girl. And not in the karmic sense, but in the sense of his spells that he's getting. It's kind of a difficult chain of logic to follow, but the funny thing about this particular comic is he decides that he wants to play some virtual tennis because he's feeling suddenly really hyper. Don't ask me why. And so by the last comic, he's wearing the stereotypical yuppie game of tennis.
What amuses me is to think that he just took off his jacket. He didn't put on some scarf or anything. That's just his jacket that he normally wears.
It's a little strange.
I'm reading the chat. I'm laughing at the chat. One Grey Liger says, I believe it was when we're talking about the ads thing, it says, I quote Trisha on the subject of MSF High banner commonly used in the ads. Boobie McFundles.
Oh. And I am Mormon. I'm allowed.
Oh, and I.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I'm going to make fun of you for your leet typing skills.
Wait, I've been noticing
the same thing, but
I've been noticing it's weird. Whenever I go up to a keyboard these days, I'll be tapping away on the keyboard, and then all of a sudden, gobbledygook. It's all composed of exactly the letters, spaces, character turns, etc. that I've typed, but it's all this weird mash. I don't know why it's doing that.
Like it comes out scrambled?
Yeah. Anyways, and it's whatever computer I go to. It's not my computer. It's not a work computer. It's not my wife's computer. It's any computer, and it's bothering me now. Anyways,
slower. Kind of like a friend of mine. His mere presence breaks electronics.
There's a kid.
He'll be around something, and it'll just almost go up in smoke. In fact, one thing actually did start smoking.
Okay.
And I'm just like, wow, we're playing
disconcerting.
board games with you. I'm like, we're playing board games with you from now on.
Okay.
You'll be lucky if I decide to play fucking poker anymore.
We are now at the segment of the recording where we say it's time to thank our sponsors. Now, who's the sponsor right now? No, you are not the sponsor.
Oh.
Actually, technically, I'm the sponsor. Because
not Shastrix?
well, okay, they're providing our hosting and our bandwidth and a lot, but now we've also got Ustream doing the video, so we can't technically say that we've got this one sponsor for that purpose. Also, for the conversation at hand, a sponsor is somebody who's really sinking a lot of money and time into it, and frankly, all that we're getting from our host, though gracious, is just space and bandwidth. Now,
so
that's a
in
very
that
good
case,
thing.
Shastrix, Ustream, and Dame Helen.
So,
Come on, CC.
Huh? What?
Come on, CC. Your turn.
I think he's challenging you.
Huh? What? You've lost me.
Shastrix, Ustream, and Dame Helen, sing it.
Nope.
Okay, so
We should probably get some
moving
of the Shastrix people on this sometime, though.
actually, a long time ago in a
Jim.
galaxy far, far away, Jim, the guy who does pretty much everything at Shastrix, he was on the podcast, and it was fun to have on. Timing, I think, makes it difficult for him. He's pretty much on public transit, and so he's not able to get from his work to his home in alacritous and efficient manner.
Apparently, completely unrelated, there are some people saying that they have to be on to join this podcast viewing more often.
Yes, you should.
That's great. You'll be able to actually hear me when I'm not like congested and sick and gross and like all.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry if my mic making weird noises because the cat wants to play with it. So
What about the laser pointer, boy?
in the other room. I have to leave the computer to get it.
Okay, so anyways, if you would like to assist in the production of the Bunnycast, yes, I make it look good, but any tips would be wonderfully helpful, aka donations. If you want to initiate it on your end, you can go to PayPal and just do a send money to bunnycast@gmail.com. We are working on a donation banner link thing that hopefully we'll be able to post soon.
That's what I needed to do the other day. Damn it.
Yeah, you're sick. Don't worry about it. So
I need to call the damn car mechanic shop too today. See if they're available. I have a vehicle here that's like the engine turns over, but it's not igniting. The spark plugs or something it's not starting. Battery's great. My mother seems to say, well, check the battery anyway. I had it checked. She says, I still think it's the battery. I says, Mom, if it's turning over, it's not the battery. It has plenty of power.
Yeah.
He has the power.
That my wife.
I have the power. Anyway,
I bought.
Well, if it was the alternator, again, alternator, all that really does is helps recharge the battery.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know,
yeah.
I'm no mechanic, and I'm not going to claim to be. I'm just reading off from the chat. But yeah, it could be the wiring harness, could be the spark plugs, could be the fuel filter. I know it has fuel. It could be a number of things. I'm going to take it to a damn mechanic because this thing is a Ford Escape. I don't know what year. I looked up instructions on how to get to the spark plugs because I opened the hood and couldn't find them. So I actually had to look it up. I'm like, well, where the hell are they? And I'm going to summarize
spark plugs. Here's your problem.
I'm going to summarize the steps to access the spark plugs in two easy steps. Step 1, disassemble the entire fucking engine. Step 2, remove the spark plugs.
It reminds me when I was working at an Apple authorized service provider. I was the bench tech, and there was a Mac Pro. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't a Mac Pro. It was a Power Mac G5, a big honking aluminum thing. And one of the instructions was actually as follows. Procure a cup hook from a hardware store, as well as a 1/4-inch dowel. Remove the plastic post using an X-Acto knife from the, I forget what it was called, but it was a little hole. Screw the cup hook into the hole, insert the dowel into the cup hook, and use it as leverage to remove the pin.
This is why I like PC.
Mac knows that you're invested. You spent this much money on it. You obviously really, really want it. So we're gonna make you work for it, sucker.
You're gonna earn your keep.
That was one of the most ridiculous repairs I think I've ever done.
I tried to part an HP Toshiba, I think it was an HP laptop. And my God, that thing has more fucking screws than the NASA freaking space shuttle.
I believe it.
I took it apart, and I had literally about a 1/4 cup full of screws, and these are the tiny screws, little tiny screws, and I had about a 1/4 of a cup, and I'm talking actual measurement size.
Yeah.
I had like about 50 screws.
But at least there were only finished. 2 sizes, right?
Yeah, there's 2 sizes, and the thing that irritates me is that one screw is longer than the other one, but each hole takes only a certain length. I mean, you can put the shorter screw in the long hole,
But
you
not
can't
the
put
long
the
one in the short.
in the short.
Yeah.
Exactly. So not only do you have to go ahead and pull the screws out, but they're not the screw holes are labeled in such a way that it's hard to really tell which one is which. So not only do you spend the hour or two taking it apart, but then you spend the 3 or 4 hours trying to put the damn thing back together, like the whole
Zeph,
child's toy.
Zeph,
Yes, I am not bitter about this.
have you ever disassembled an iBook G4?
No,
Yeah,
I've
I
never
was
done
about to
anything
say,
with Mac.
it's like
I have not
if
done
it's a
anything
Mac,
with Mac.
each of those screws would be a different size and only fit into the one specific hole.
20
Yeah,
screws for the Faraday cage alone.
It's got a Faraday cage.
Yeah.
Say, hey, yeah, my laptop, a Dell Inspiron, far more simple. And
So,
take
let's
apart.
actually get back on
Let's get back to
task.
target.
Okay, so
I'm going to have that soundbite eventually, and I'm going to
Yeah.
incorporate it
yeah, hey, there you go.
sometime.
Those who have been paying attention to the Bunnycast, the last few weeks, will know that one of the things that I've been going on about is the church's stance on homosexuals. Well, this last week, I want to say on Monday, the church released its new handbook for instruction for church leaders. These are the people like, bishops, elders quorum presidents, stake presidents, etc. The people who run things for the church. And contained therein is a section about homosexuality, how it's a condition, not
Right.
a sin. Now, homosexual behaviors are considered a sin, but on this, not as you're gay so you're evil, it's you're sleeping around outside of a marriage covenant, which is bad for straights and gays. Wow! Equal treatment under the law. It's not just a concept in the United States Constitution.
Huzzah!
Jinx.
So
Nope.
basic for those of you who don't know why this is such a big deal, I'm a little lucky here in Southern California. The church trends towards liberal. It's a part of the we live in the culture, and we
California.
we
Let's
tend
leave
to-
it at that.
Yeah, it's California. Utah, I want to say to a lesser extent Colorado, and surprisingly Las Vegas. These are kind of the heartland for Mormons. They're very, very lockstep with the culture. When the culture says, if you're gay, you're the worst thing alive. Of course, the culture also says, if you don't have 2.5 children, don't have a white picket fence, don't blah blah blah.
How do you have half a fucking kid?
Very carefully. It requires a hacksaw.
So, basically, the church's official, codified, this is the rules position is just because someone's gay or lesbian does not mean that they get automatically excluded, that they're kept from any church callings, are prohibited from going to the temple. If they keep the exact same standards that every other church member is required to keep, then they get all the privileges and rights that being an upstanding church member has, which is something that I've been saying for a long time.
Well, now we just need to get them to acknowledge gay marriage.
And
but baby steps.
Okay, there's going to be another podcast I'm working on. It's down the road that will be addressing things about the church.
I still say that the whole thing with gay marriage, I don't see what the big fucking deal is. And this is the only point I'm going to touch on this. If two homosexual people get married, I don't see why that should be a big deal, because it's not impacting your fucking life. Oh my god, they're married to each other. Doesn't affect you. Leave it alone.
Again,
come on.
I'll address
If a
this
man
another
or
time.
woman are allowed to get together and, make each other miserable, why shouldn't gay people have that?
Because gay people can get into enough cat fights on their own. They don't need gay marriage to do that. So, moving on. Xepharon, you have a news item.
Yeah, I actually have something of somewhat interest. Cowboys and Aliens. Harrison Ford and Cowboys and Aliens. New movie coming out. New movie that's supposed to be coming out next summer. Cowboys and Aliens, featuring Harrison Ford and Daniel Craig. For those of you who don't know, Harrison Ford has starred in such movies as God damn it, my brain's not working. But such movies as Indiana Jones and Star Wars, even. Also, Daniel Craig.
You would have to be
Daniel-
under a rock to not know who Harrison Ford
Daniel
is.
Craig, on the other hand, a lesser-known name but still widely popular character, James Bond from
The new Bond.
the new Bond from Quantum of Solace and Casino Royale.
He's
pretty much
also the new model in the remake of GoldenEye.
the model.
Yeah, they
of
remade
Major
GoldenEye
General.
for the Wii, and they're using Daniel Craig as Bond rather than the old Bond. But,
Right.
Wait, sorry,
But the movie
off
is
topic.
going to be called Cowboys and Aliens, and you can be rest assured of one thing: no one can possibly accuse them of false advertising. It's got cowboys; they fight aliens.
Well, then.
You don't get much more straightforward than that. The title is so straightforward that one might assume it's even a joke, but just as the just-released trailer shows, the movie is not playing the concept for laughs. Has some really big names behind the camera, including, and I'm probably going to butcher the name, I think it's Jon Favreau, from Iron Man. Also producers Ron Howard, Brian Grazer, and Steven Spielberg as an executive producer.
All right.
So-
Let me look up that name. I know how to pronounce it.
Have I
would you
mentioned how much I hate Flash?
Yeah, Favreau is how Jon Favreau Fiver's name is. Yeah. Anyway,
Favreau?
Sure, Favreau. Why not?
I hate
But
Flash.
Well, that's why I've got
Go to the-
Flash Blocker. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, you're on Chrome. You don't have flat Firefox add-ons.
Oh, I got a blinking light.
Blink, blink, blink. Why do you have a blinking
So,
light?
ChroniclerC, your news item while we just destroy the silence.
Who's got silence? I've got a trailer.
Yeah. Where's
Well, I'll
It's all
keep talking.
trailery.
Okay,
I also
so
go.
Homer watches a
Scientists-
trailer. My terrible singing, ran up the side.
ChroniclerC, what's your news story?
Okay, I don't have nearly as much research on this as I would like. I just kind of realized last night that I needed to have a news thing. So I have a news thing.
Mr. Son of researchers and librarians. Yeah.
I had to go to bed. It was late. I needed to get up in the morning and do a podcast.
Yeah, I was talking to this guy last night on Skype, and he's talking about how he's this awesome researcher because he's the son of a research librarian and all this other stuff. So I'm expecting this super detailed report, and he's got nothing.
Oh, I don't have nothing.
Well, you got
I
next
do
to
have a bunch of this off the top of my head. I just didn't have time to do research last night because I needed to go to bed.
Okay, so
So I
what's
could
your
wake up
news
for a
story?
Anyway. Basically, Supreme Court of the United States is taking on Schwarzenegger versus Entertainment Merchants Association. In case you haven't heard, this is the big Supreme Court takes on the video games, pretty much all of the video game ban laws. Should you be able to sell video games to minors? That's what the bill is about, but the broader issue is whether or not video games are covered by First Amendment protection.
Go on.
God, it should be obvious. I mean, really.
Well, there are a lot of theories running around that they're not. That Supreme Court isn't necessarily taking on the law on the case because they think either side has particular merit, but because they want to just shoot down all of these laws that keep springing up and immediately getting blasted because they're obviously unconstitutional because of the First Amendment. So if the Supreme Court makes this ruling on this law saying, yes, video games have First Amendment protection, then there will be precedent, and it will immediately quash a lot of these potential laws.
Oh yeah,
I
I'm
hope so.
not objecting to the Supreme Court taking this on. In fact, I'm fairly glad that they're going to, especially considering that the current sitting Supreme Court is the individual members have a pretty good track record as far as free speech goes. What it pisses me off is that we even had to get this far with it.
Yeah, that it's even in question.
Yeah.
Well, actually, though, just to play devil's advocate here, on one hand, it actually wouldn't be all that bad. Just think of all the good that could come from not allowing minors to play rated MA games. No more Xbox Live of, yeah, fuck you, you stupid noob.
It wouldn't just do that. Because, see, here's the thing. If retail... Hear me out. This is kind of long
like
shot.
I said, I'm just being devil's advocate.
Worst case scenario, but let's just say retailers aren't allowed to sell video games to minors.
Video games or high-rated games? Okay.
The law specifically says deviant, violent video games. End quote. and the wording is kind of ridiculous and stupid
Deviant.
and. Yeah.
Devious, I shall corrupt these children. They shall all play Xbox Live, troll and call everyone noobs, and piss off people who have been playing video games for years because of their elite skills at 10 years old. Haha. Devious.
Well, anyway, the idea would be that retailers would not be allowed to sell video games to minors. Possible worst case scenarios is that retailers just stop carrying M-rated video games rather than, accidentally or allegedly sell a bad video game to a minor and get fined their ass off, and so they'll just stop carrying them. And if people stop carrying the M-rated games, people are not making the M-rated games, and then it'll just be games for kids, and we won't have Gears of War.
Here's a simple solution. Require parental presence.
No.
You realize, of course, that that's what most companies are just doing on their own these days. Kind of like how you can't really get into a theater, an R-rated movie without showing proof of age. A lot of video game retailers are just doing that on their own with M-rated games. You are not allowed to buy an M-rated game unless you can prove that you're 17 or older.
Lucky for me, I'm 25. I don't have to worry about that.
Well, okay.
I mean, basically,
go on.
It's what the laws keep trying to do are trying to implement really strict limits on things that really the industry is, in actuality, handling just fine on its own. It's just a few really loud fringe cases.
Yeah.
And the idiots who think that video games cause this or that, video games cause this or that problem, video games cause obesity, cause violence, cause crime.
If video games cause violence and murder and death, I'm still waiting for someone to create an assault rifle with a chainsaw on it. I'm still waiting, because once they do, I'm going to get one. Just because it's so cool.
Yeah.
Would I ever use it? No.
You can get replicas of that. I just don't know if you can get working ones.
I want to see someone do a working one. I'm still waiting on someone to produce a working lightsaber. That would be kick-ass.
It's fairly easy to produce working replicas of medieval weapons. It's the sci-fi weapons that are somewhat difficult to make working replicas of.
Oh, I've got a ton of medieval swords and stuff, replicas. Rocket launch chainsaws is another thing that I want to see, as mentioned in the chat. Rocket-propelled chainsaws. I have a picture of one of these. Didn't I show that to you, CC? The rocket-propelled chainsaw?
Show me later, because it's not ringing a bell.
It's only one of the coolest pictures.
Had an idea, but then we went off on the weapons tangent, and it's gone now.
Sorry.
No, it happens.
Yes, it does. Welcome to the Bunnycast.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
welcome to
See,
life.
here's the problem with assuming that just having the parents there is going to magically make it all better as far as video games.
Excuse me.
Retail store in Ohio, USA. Me. Good morning, ma'am. What can I help you with today? Customer. Do you have this product here? Points to a video game in our ad. Certainly, ma'am. Just take that aisle there and turn right near the doors with the video games. All right, thank you. Shortly after, I get a call about TV, so head toward that section. After helping another guest out, the first guest shows up. Hello again, ma'am. Want me to show you where that game is you were looking for? Customer. How did you do that? Do what, ma'am? How did you appear like that? Magic? No, ma'am. It's magic! Your kids in your devil ways! I promise it's not magic, ma'am. I just took a shortcut. Through hell! Demon! Storms out.
Yeah, people are crazy.
People
Did
are
this actually
stupid.
happen?
I'm getting this secondhand. I did not witness it, but given my experience in retail, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Well, neither would I, but I want to see this. I want to see a video of this because it's on surveillance.
Probably.
I want to see.
Or more realistically, the parents are going to get their kids saying, "Ooh, I want this video game," and the parents are going to go out and buy it, and despite the big M in the lower corner, they aren't going to notice, and they're just going to give it to their kids and not monitor what their children...
Well, that's their own
Parenting
damn fault
problem,
for not
not-
paying. That's their own
Yeah,
damn fault for not paying attention. Although, quite honestly, if you're going to be that closed-minded, this is going back on what Homer was just saying with the whole incident that I wish actually happened. I don't know if it did or not. But if you're going to be that closed-minded, you shouldn't be shopping for video games in the first place.
Well, I mean, the thing that
You shouldn't be
kinda
walking
shocks me
around
at this point is
that
video
closed-minded.
games. Video games have actually been around. What is that?
Sorry, that's my fault.
Thank you. Video games have actually been around at this point, literally longer than I have been alive.
Join the club.
What about at this point? Wasn't that true 5 years ago? 10 years ago?
Shush.
It comes back to my point. Okay, so when I was a kid and parents were concerned about video games corrupting their kids, that was one thing, because it was entirely possible at that point, to have a generation of people raising children at that time that did not have enough exposure to video games to understand that none of the fear and hype surrounding them had anything to do with reality. But now we have a full, at least generation, probably 2 or 3, that have grown up with video games, at least in some facet of their lives. Their lives have been touched by video games in some way, if not directly playing
think
it.
Think of it less this way, and think of it more this way. All those people 10 years ago who were freaking out about how video games are corrupting our youth, and etc., those people are still around. They haven't died yet. They're still here making noise.
Well, I get that, but the thing that
I say we go out and silence them. I mean, what?
don't perpetuate the stereotype, damn it. The thing that bothers me is, sure, these people are always going to be around and make noise. I mean, for heaven's sake, we have the Westboro Baptist Church still.
God.
So these people, they're always going to be around. The problem is they're still being taken seriously.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can have your blowhards and they can make a lot of noise and they can piss in the wind. I don't care. They can go and do that in their corner. But what shocks me is,
as long as the wind's blowing against them,
they actually get a lot of support from people who should know better. I mean,
The
really.
other thing to keep in mind is that even the people our age, the generation who should know darn well about video games by now, when they were growing up 10 years ago, video games were still a nerdy thing. It was not a popular thing. Video games have only become mainstream popular recently.
I would like to take a
So
moment
maybe
to...
10 years from now, we'll start getting the people who know better. Everyone just knows better because they've played a video game. But at
I
this
would like
point,
to.
not everyone's played a video game. Even people in their 20s who grew up around video games, but to them it wasn't a popular thing. It was what those nerds did.
Yeah.
Those
I'd
nerds
like
with their
to-
computers and big glasses. And
Yeah, I'd like to take a moment and
Etc.
quote lyrics from a song that Eminem did. I'm probably going to paraphrase it, but at one point in one of the songs, and I can't remember which one it is, but he's talking about how media is trying hardcore to make it seem that, you know, the songs that are being written are what's causing everything to go to hell. And at one point he says something about about how these people are toting guns and shooting and whatnot, but can a song load a gun and cock it for you too? If so, then you should go ahead and shoot someone and sue me for it because it's my fault. Or something. And it's totally not how he said it, but I can't remember the name of the song. But it's a good tune. I don't listen to a lot of rap, but there's anyway. But that's actually, I personally think is a good point, though, is that the video games, sure, are they violent? Yeah. Are they making you violent? No. No video game has ever loaded a gun and shot it.
Well,
No video game
are
has ever
currently
held up a knife.
The big scapegoat. The same way that a little while ago, D&D
Video games-
was the big scapegoat.
video games have
Before that,
been
it was
the scapegoat
rap
for
music.
years.
Before that, it was rock and roll. And before that, it was moving pictures. And before that,
Yeah,
hell, I don't
basically,
know.
someone always has to have something to bitch about, to say, this is what's causing our children to grow up and be murderers. No, it's your fault as being a shitty parent.
It's the current scapegoat because it's the new thing.
Because people don't want to accept that they suck as being a dad or a mom.
Or that people are just bad people.
Yeah. Anyway,
On
off
that
my-
downer,
Yeah. No, I've been actually watching a lot of YouTube lately. Actually been listening to a lot of Dr. Steele. Dr. Steele is...
Zeph.
Yeah.
You have to break.
This has a point, I promise.
Okay.
Dr. Steele talks about, during sort of a video documentary type thing, talks about how he's just, yeah, sure, it's probably a joke about how there's like the whole world domination thing, but talks about how it wants to bring back like the toy industry, but not necessarily as the current dictionary definition of, a small thing that's kind of useless, but it's for personal amusement. Wants to redefine it as something that makes you happy, because everybody still has toys, just that they change as we get older.
I like that. That's
iPhone.
I'll link it to you later.
my
So,
iPhone is a serious business tool. It are serious stuff.
I wanted to end on a happy note.
Yes. Okay.
So we should change the definition of toy to something that makes you happy. Bring toys to everyone and help Dr. Steele rule the world.
I like it. Okay, thanks for tuning in. For those of you following along in the chat room, yes, we will be back in a few minutes to continue this recording. But we do need to take a little break here. So, smoke them if you got them. I don't got any, but I need to get something to eat. I'm hungry.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and...
See, I don't need no stinking research.
Bunnycast is a production of the Bunnycast Networks. Grace World and Because of Your Grace are by Seth Jeffrey and used without permission. Anxious Heart, owned by Nobu Uematsu. It's Anxiety, owned by Cheese 80 and Sarah Christ, and used without permission. This production is in no way affiliated with Dan Shive, Algona Shive, or any of the persons or properties mentioned. The views reflected in this podcast are those of the host and guests, and not necessarily those of the hosting company or affiliated parties. Stay tuned for next episode, where we talk about forum games and Wikipedia, or more like Wikipedia.